For you see, transformation does not require time, it requires understanding. Not in a year, not in a month, but in one day. Your consciousness is the only reality. Not your thoughts, not your emotions, but your consciousness, your I am-ness. The world is yourself pushed up. If you don't like what you see in your world, you don't try to change the world. You change your consciousness, and the world must change to reflect it. The feeling is the secret. Tonight I shall share with you 7 principles that, when properly understood and applied, will transform your entire world in a single day. Not in a year, not in a month, but in one day. For you see, transformation does not require time, it requires understanding. Let me share with you these 7 principles that revolutionized my understanding and instantaneously transformed my world. But before I share them, you must understand that these are not mere techniques or strategies. These are divine principles that reveal the very nature of reality itself. The first principle is this: your consciousness is the only reality. Not your thoughts, not your emotions, but your consciousness, your I am-ness. This principle, when truly understood, will shake the very foundation of your world. For you see, what you are conscious of being, you must become. Consider the words of Scripture. Be still and know that I am God. Notice it doesn't say become God or try to be God. It says know that I am God. This knowing, this consciousness is the first principle that will transform your world instantly when truly grasped. Many of you come to me asking how long it takes to change your life. But I tell you now, when you grasp this first principle, that your consciousness is the only reality, change is instantaneous. For you see, you don't become what you want, you become what you are conscious of being. The second principle is this: the world is yourself pushed up. Everything you see, everything you experience, every person you meet, all of it is yourself pushed up. This is not philosophy, this is law. When you truly understand this principle, you will never again blame circumstances or other people. Let me share with you how this second principle works. When you look at your world, you are not seeing something separate from yourself. You are seeing your consciousness made visible. Your financial situation, your relationships, your health, all of it is your consciousness pushed up. Consider this carefully. If you don't like what you see in your world, you don't try to change the world. You change your consciousness, and the world must change to reflect it. For the world has no choice but to reflect your consciousness. It is yourself pushed out. The third principle is this: the feeling is the secret. Not the words you speak, not the actions you take, but the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This principle, when properly understood, eliminates all struggle and effort from manifestation. Let me share with you what I mean by feeling. I am not speaking of emotion or sensation. I am speaking of the feeling of naturalness, the feeling of your wish fulfilled. When you have this feeling, you have the secret of creation itself. Consider how you feel about your own name. You don't hope it's your name. You don't affirm it's your name. You simply feel the naturalness of it being your name. This is the feeling I'm speaking of. When you can feel this same naturalness about your desire, you have mastered the third principle. The fourth principle is this: everyone is yourself pushed out. Not metaphorically, not symbolically, but literally. Every person you encounter is playing the role that your consciousness has assigned them. When you grasp this principle, relationships transform instantly. Let me share with you how this fourth principle works in practice. If someone is treating you unkindly, you don't try to change their behavior. You change your consciousness of them, and they must change to reflect your new consciousness. For they have no choice, they are yourself pushed out. Consider this carefully. When you say that person is against me, you are really saying, I am conscious of being someone against whom that person is set. Change your consciousness, and they must change their behavior. The fifth principle is this: there is no such thing as time in consciousness. The future is not ahead of you waiting to happen. It exists now in your consciousness. When you grasp this principle, all sense of waiting and delay disappears. Let me share with you why this principle is so transformative. Most people think their desire takes time to manifest. But I tell you now, time is not a factor in manifestation. What matters is the intensity of your consciousness, not the duration of your waiting. Consider the words of Scripture before they call, I will answer. This is telling you that your desire already exists in consciousness. Your task is not to create it, but to accept it as already existing now. The sixth principle is this: revision is creation. What you call the past is simply memory, and memory can be revised. When you revise the past in imagination, you literally recreate your world. This principle, when properly understood, gives you complete freedom from the tyranny of past events. Let me share with you how this sixth principle works. If you don't like something that happened today, you don't try to forget it or overcome it. Instead, you revise it in your imagination. See it happening differently. Feel it happening differently. And that revision becomes the truth in consciousness. Consider this: your present circumstances are the result of your past thoughts and feelings. Change those past thoughts and feelings through revision, and you must change your present circumstances. The seventh and final principle is this: your imaginal acts become facts. What you imagine with feeling, what you accept as true in consciousness, must become facts in your world. This principle, when properly understood, eliminates all doubt and uncertainty about manifestation. Let me share with you how these 7 principles work together to transform your life in a single day. First, you must understand that these principles are not sequential. They are simultaneous. They are all operating in your life right now, whether you're aware of them or not. Consider how the first principle, consciousness is the only reality, works with the second principle. The world is yourself pushed out. When you really grasp these together, you realize that every single thing you're conscious of must express itself in your world. Let me give you a perfect example from Scripture. When Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, he was demonstrating these principles. He was conscious of being the way, first principle, and his world had to reflect that consciousness, second principle. Now let's see how the third principle, the feeling is a secret, works with the fourth principle. Everyone is yourself pushed out. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, everyone in your world must play their part to bring about that fulfillment. They have no choice, for they are yourself pushed out. Many of you may be thinking, but Neville, how can these principles transform my life in just one day? Let me tell you something. Transformation doesn't require time, it requires acceptance. When you truly accept these principles, transformation is instantaneous. Consider how the fifth principle, there is no time in consciousness, works with the sixth principle, revision is creation. Because there is no time in consciousness, you can revise any event, any circumstance, any relationship right now. And that revision must manifest in your world. Let me share with you how the seventh principle, imaginal acts become facts, ties all of these together. When you imagine with feeling, accepting your consciousness as the only reality, seeing the world as yourself pushed out, knowing there is no time, and revising what needs to be revised, your imaginal act must become a fact. But, and this is crucial, you must apply these principles from understanding, not from hope or wish. Most people try to use these principles while still believing in external causes. But I tell you now, there are no external causes. All causes lie in consciousness. Let me share with you what I call the 4 stages of applying these principles. Most people fail because they don't understand these stages, and therefore they abandon the principles before transformation can occur. The first stage is understanding. This is where you truly grasp that these principles are not techniques or methods, but laws of consciousness as exact as mathematics. When you understand them at this level, you stop questioning whether they will work and start questioning whether you're applying them correctly. The second stage is acceptance. This is where you move beyond intellectual understanding to genuine acceptance of these principles as the only reality. When you reach this stage, you no longer need proof or evidence. You know these principles are true just as you know your own name. The third stage is application. But then this is crucial. This is not the mechanical application that most people attempt. This is the natural, effortless application that comes from understanding and acceptance. When you reach this stage, you're no longer trying to make things happen. You're allowing them to happen according to law. The fourth stage is transformation. This is where your entire world begins to reflect your new understanding. Not gradually, not eventually, but instantly. For you see, when you truly understand, accept, and apply these principles, transformation must follow. It is law. Let me share with you how each of the 7 principles operates at each stage.